the Owatonna Today Show. Oh, there you are. Hello. Thanks so much for joining us right here on the Owatonna Today Show. It's Friday. Hopefully you had a safe and warm week. You kept yourselves warm. It's kind of been a crazy winter week, but you know, we're Minnesotans. We can handle it. We do want to thank those people, though, who have made this program possible. There's a group of organizations and services and businesses that have said, you know, we like what you're doing. We want to keep it going. So we'd like to thank them. We're going to start with our premier supporters. They are the City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Owatonna Public Utilities, and United Way of Steele County. Also, thank you to our primary supporters. They are Amy Swain Hearing Centers and Little Theater of Owatonna. We wouldn't be here without our interlude supporters. They are Abraham Consulting Technologies, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Glenn Meager and Tim Thomas of Brick Meager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brookdale Senior Living, Clare Bridge and Sterling House, Carlson Branstad and Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Owatonna Business Incubator, Owatonna Foundation, Profinium Financial, R&K Electric, Snap Fitness, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Incorporated Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. Thank you to those businesses who stood alongside us for so many years and kept this program going, giving you information you need for your local community. If you'd like to be a part of this and want to join us, we'd love to have you. Give us a call at 390-5751 and Leanne Alt will give you all the details you need on how you can become a supporter of the Owatonna Today Show. So stick with us today. We're going to be talking about the Christmas bird count and how you can be involved, as well as a sneak peek at the Owatonna Arts Center Christmas decorations. We'll be right back.
I'm Dan Branstad of Carlson Branstad and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings, I'm Laura Ressler, Director of the Steele County Historical Society, and I welcome you to our History Center. We invite you to join in all our activities events where we honor the past and look towards the future.
And we're back in studio with me. I do have Darryl Hill and Nels Thompson. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Our pleasure.
It is, 'tis the season, I like to say, and it is the season for the bird count. And this is a part of the Audubon Society. And I want you to do me a favor, Darryl, and tell me a little bit about yourself, and then also tell me a little bit about what the Audubon Society is.
Okay, I was a high school principal here for 28 years, and now I've been retired for a long, long time. One of my passions is birds, and so of course I joined the Audubon Society because they're a group who work with birds and they try to save them, and they give us people ideas of how to preserve them. And one of the projects that they have done started way back over 100 years ago, where a group of people in New York, on every Sunday, they would go out and they'd shoot all the hawks and the birds that they could, and then they'd bring them in and kind of display them. They were a group of conservation people who said, hey, that's not the thing to do. And then they started counting them on that day. And
the Audubon Society itself, is its goal to preserve birds?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
And so they do that, I'm sure they do that through lobbying, but they also work with local people.
Well, there are local clubs throughout all the states and so forth, too.
And do the local clubs, I know we have the bird count that you're alluding to, but what else during the year does the Audubon Society do?
Oh, well, you know, they have some conventions that you could go to and learn more about them. But it's more of a scientific one. They have other projects other than the Christmas bird count. They have a feeder count, I think, where you can, on a certain day. So they have a lot of different projects that they get research so that people can use that to keep preserving them.
Well, and I know one of the things that, and we've kind of touched on this in the past, one of the things I think through the Audubon Society and studying the birds is that they noticed that there were feral cats who were having a huge impact on songbirds. Excuse me, and we may not have really understood that had there not been this idea of observing, watching, and being aware of what's going on with birds.
That's absolutely. Feral cats that are not, under control eat millions, literally millions of birds. And it's one of the things that they try to get so that they aren't running wild because that's the way they eat. And so birds are a good...
it's a natural thing for them.
It's a natural thing. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and so the Audubon Society has been something that has really kind of brought awareness to that and made people, I know they have for me,
Yes.
and through our conversations, made me a little bit aware of being careful, and population control and that kind of thing with the cats.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, we'll move on to you, Mr. Nels. Why don't you give us a brief introduction of yourself? And then I would love for you to describe the bird count that Darryl started talking about.
All right, I am now, excuse me, frog in my bird watcher. Nels Thompson, anyway, I taught biology at the high school for 29 years, I think, and elsewhere. And now retired, but still very much interested in bird counting and the things that we find by way of these counts, namely where these birds are in the wintertime and what the significance of the numbers is in terms of whether they're increasing or decreasing and so on. And not to belabor that cat thing, but it isn't just the feral cats, though that factor's large. It's the cats that go outside at night and so on that are out there creating problems for the birds too. Anyway, we have been doing this count because of Darryl, 43 years. This will be the 43rd count. And we have a situation where the count is kind of determined, that is the time frame is determined by the Audubon people, and there's about a 2.5 week window. And then the people who are the compilers like Darryl pick a day out of there, and we have almost always been on a Saturday, and this year it will be on the 20th, is that correct? Yeah, 20th of December. And on that particular day, all of us that are counting will take our post, so to speak, and do it. There will be many people who will count from feeders. And
sitting in their living room.
Sitting in the warmth of their own home next to their favorite beverage.
Because they don't have to go outside and watch the bird.
No.
And if it's a day like today, they will be grateful for that. And then there are those of us that are classified as field counters. We have a circle that is 7.5 miles, well, it'll be 7 miles, right? 7 mile radius, so it'll be a 14-mile diameter. The focal point of that is Havana. And so the radius swings out and includes all of Owatonna and places north, east, and west, as well as south, I should say.
Yeah.
And then west is where Owatonna is. Anyway, that thing is cut into 4 quadrants. And some of us will be in what's known as the Rice Lake quadrant, somewhere in the Clinton Falls quadrant, and so it goes.
And so you're counting birds in that quadrant.
Yeah,
specifically.
those of us in the group that I work with, we're in our own little quadrant, and we work that over. And the thing that's tricky is, I should have mentioned, there's also a city group, so it's sort of like 5 count groups. The tricky thing is to try to not count the same bird twice. And it's probable that it happens, but we have a way of doing that. The roads that we travel in the field counts, we only travel once.
Okay.
And then we count the very most birds we can see at any one time. If we see 10 now and 20 later and maybe 15 later, the big number is 20, and that's the others are assumed to have mixed in with that somehow.
Good. Well, what I want to do now is talk about those people. We want to talk about some of the birds you might see. Give people an opportunity to see. So we're going to go through, first of all, the birds you might see at a feeder.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let's start on Leanne. We're going to have you focus in on, you brought these great deck of cards. It's a great way for people to see what kind of birds are. So go ahead, and Darryl, start with the one that we have here.
The first one is the black-capped chickadee.
So this is one.
This is one that you'll come at your feeder.
Okay.
And he will come back many, many times during the day.
Okay.
They do. And so you can't count them every time you see them. When you're sitting in your home and you count all day, you count, say you see 2 at one time. A little later on you look and there are 3, and then there are 4. You don't add 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
You do the largest number that you see at any one time.
Okay,
That's
good.
important because this one you'd get 20 just seeing one of them.
Okay.
And most people know that one. The next one is the cardinal.
Pretty easy to see this time of year.
Pretty, yeah, it is, and it gets the boy and the girl. The boys are a little brighter than the other ones. This is the goldfinch, the American goldfinch, but they don't look this yellow.
Okay.
In the winter, they molt their feathers, and they're green. So the girls and the boys look alike.
Okay.
So you won't see a yellow one, but you'll see a green one. And then they have an introduced bird for probably the last 8-10 years come to this area is the finch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
House finch.
Yeah, the house finch. And it looks like the purple finch, so you have to learn to do that. And here's the junco. This is the one you'd see on the ground, and it doesn't have that brown like you see there as much, but it's gray and white.
Okay, so and people, when they're watching their bird feeders, that's that. And then you have some that'll be, you might see more around
Why don't you
town.
tell me? Yeah,
Well, here we have a nuthatch. This one happens to be a red-breasted, not so very common around here, but the white-breasted looks quite similar to that. Take away the pink on that bird, and it'll look quite like the white-breasted nuthatch. The upside-down bird. Pileated woodpecker, no one gets that one wrong.
Yeah, I've seen that guy.
It's just a
I've seen
huge
that
bird
fella.
with a flaming crest.
Or Woody, you could call him.
Woody woodpecker was
Yeah.
modeled
Yeah.
after this pileated or
Yeah.
pileated, whichever you prefer.
Okay. And
and the downy and the hairy also will be one that's common. That
Okay.
I don't have a picture of that one.
Oh, here's a brown creeper, and that one's a little tricky to see because
Yeah.
they blend into the tree so
does.
well. Not likely to see it at a feeder, but it might be clipped onto a suet feeder
Okay.
from time to time.
and now these birds
Smallish
are
bird.
ones that you would see on your field count,
On-
these next group.
We
well,
could see.
feeders too.
Oh, feeders?
Sure,
Okay.
maybe more so than feeders. Whoops, what happened to our, that happens to be a raven, but everybody knows what a crow looks like, so I don't think there'll be any surprises there.
Yeah.
And here we have a mallard.
So the mallards don't leave. They kind of hang out.
Well, they
still?
will, some of them do, but a great percentage of them stick around. Down here by the dam, below the dam, where there's open water, there'll be mallards.
Okay.
And I think about everyone in the world knows a blue jay.
Yeah.
And they often come in groups of up to 5 or 6. I had 10 at the feeder
Wow.
yesterday.
Wow.
I don't know if you'll have this at the feeder. That's
Maybe
I
eating
don't
the
think
other
so.
ones,
Yeah,
maybe.
it takes a different meaning from the word
Yeah.
bird feeder.
Yes, it does.
But snowy owls have been seen in Dodge County east of Bixby.
Okay, good.
So,
Where, if people want to be a part of this, how can they do that?
What I'd like you to do is contact me, email or by my phone number. Let me know ahead of time so
Yeah.
we know how many are going to be counting. If you do a feeder count, I need your answers. You know what your numbers are the day of the 20th or the next day.
Okay, so make sure you get that in. But call.
Call.
And you can get all the information you need for that. And
Yes.
gentlemen, as always, I love having you here. I learn so much every time you're here. Thank you for joining me. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
forgot to mention.
Hello, I'm Tom Sager, the Director of Finance and Operations at the Owatonna Public Schools. Your gifts to the United Way are working hard to help people become self-sufficient. For example, our Boots to Work program, which was a partnership with the Salvation Army, Owatonna Shoe, and local staffing agencies, put over 100 unemployed people to work this year by providing them with new quality steel-toe boots they couldn't afford. Help us create a community built on opportunity by giving generously to this year's United Way campaign. Thank you.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas produced by gas-fired appliances in your home. The state of Minnesota requires that you have a carbon monoxide alarm within 10 feet of sleeping areas in your home. We suggest you have a digital readout carbon monoxide alarm. That way we were able to check and see what the concentration amount was when the alarm went off. This has been a public safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show in one of the most festive places you can be in the town of Owatonna, and that's the Owatonna Arts Center. And I have with me Silvan Durben. Hello.
Hello, thank you for coming. It's always our pleasure, and the Arts Center is so pleased to have the opportunity to share our Christmas display with everybody.
Each year it's a different theme.
Yes,
How do you decide on them?
Well, we kind of brainstorm, and they just somewhat happen.
Okay.
And if you've ever been a part of putting it together, it develops, it unfolds. This isn't a grand design where there's a major blueprint and everything goes in an exact spot. It's a creative process, and we're very fortunate in our community that individuals are willing to share and loan things to us, as well as make and do things. And this year, the room that we're in has wonderful nativities from a darling lady here in town who collects them, and she's been collecting them over the years. And if
does she have a name?
Anonymous. Anonymous, lovely lady.
Well, and how many do you think are in this collection? Do you have an idea?
Well, you know, I've kind of lost track, but I think we have over 25 just on display behind us here. And, you know, I love to point out just a few that are delightful, and I don't want you to miss.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
This particular one is a Native American theme with a teepee and, you know, Native Americans. So there's really delightful. And then this one up here is just super fun because it's the Christmas pageant. And if you take a closer look, you can see the kings and Joseph have tennies on. And I just love to describe rather awkwardly the camel as a two-hump kid camel peeking out. And then up here is the mahogany Christmas. So you really need to take some time to look. And it reminds me of that song, that Christmas carol, that some children see him bronzed in gold. You know, there's a variety of different expressions, and we all see and interpret this story vastly differently.
You mentioned that the collector kind of just collects things that catch her eye.
Yes.
And what's amazing to me is that yet there's no real theme. It's not just ceramic. It's not just wood. We have some soft ones with the Precious Moments one, and there's some snow globes. It's really a very eclectic collection.
It very much is, but a lot of fun. And the collector spent a couple of hours putting Playmobil together here. And the comment is, after she was getting it together, she felt that kids probably wouldn't be that patient to take all of that time to do that. And you really need to look, you know, at some of the really little bitty ones. There's someone playing a bass fiddle down there. There's just really wonderful things.
There's a beautiful silver set, also a smaller one down here too. And yet we have some very large ones up on the top as well.
And then the collection isn't just nativities that you can sit on a table or the mantle, but she collects ornaments, and so there's a variety of them from different places and things.
Are the wall hangings also hers with the different
nativity? All the wall hangings are hers too.
Yeah.
The white one belongs to one other individual, but otherwise all of the nativities, both large and small, belong to this lovely lady here in town.
So you could spend quite a bit of time just really appreciating the different plays, and probably one of the best places she's had to display it. I doubt her house is as big as the Art Center, so it must be really fun for her to be able to have them all out in one place.
And it was fun. She was here helping us put them out, so for her it was that joy of sharing as well.
Yeah, because of her joy. Well, we are going to go see some of the other rooms here in the Art Center, so if you'll hang on 1 second, we'll be back. Stay with us. and now we're in another room of the Art Center. This room is very traditional. It has a very nice, homey, traditional feel, and probably nothing is more traditional than Christmas cards.
Well, Christmas cards, and they're something from the past, and the theme is the stories of Christmas. And behind me, I've asked some artists in the community to make oversized Christmas cards. And then if you're one of those special people and receive a story, especially on the backside. So a number of them have, basically sharing some personal stories about Christmases past. We have one here that the parents are writing to their son who's in college. Oh. We have another one here that the individual has researched. It's depicting World War II, so a very traditional color scheme from that time period. And it basically says that she's a nurse. She's an individual who served, female, in the services during World War II, and she's coming home to Minneapolis, glad to be home. But he has a little bit of a twist. Joseph, her sweetheart, has been wounded, and they planned to get married as soon as they were both in the same city. But he fell in love with a nurse, and got married.
Oh no!
Which is kind of delightful. And we have one over here that is just so special because it's written from the point of view of a cat. So I think if you'll take some time just to come in, not only enjoy the fun visuals, but read some of the stories. And they'll remind you of those special little notes that people write to one another.
Especially in a day gone by today with email and all that stuff, maybe people don't take the time to write as much as they had to in the past.
Yeah.
And so to take an entire story to write that and tell about your day, your Christmas holidays, instead of those quick little blurbs, it really is a beautiful thing to come back and remember. And the artwork is quite amazing. These are some amazing, there's another one here you can see.
And this one is done by some preschoolers. And so this is their concept of Christmas, which is delightful. And I love the fuzzy little beard and the glitter.
His name written backwards.
Yes, and if you look inside, they actually did the printing and lettering, so it isn't something that involved, was the secretary and calligrapher, Dear Santa, and it's just sweet with the ease, kind of delightful.
So come and enjoy this room and maybe even get inspired for your own Christmas card writing.
Oh, definitely.
Now, when can people start coming see some of the different exhibits?
Well, it's going to open this Sunday on December 7th.
Okay.
And later in the afternoon, the OHS carolers are going to come and give a concert, which is free and open to the public. So we invite you to come and hear them. Their smiling voices and cheery voices will,
start the season right.
Start the season out perfectly.
Well, let's go look at one more beautiful room that we always have to end with. So we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Am I articulating?
If you've been to the Art Center before, you need to come back again because it's never the same, is it, from year to year?
No, we always pick different themes. We always decorate differently. So, it isn't like you're going to see the same tree with the same Christmas trims. And the Friends of the Art Center have pretty much worked these two rooms, the boardroom and the Performing Arts Hall. And this year's color theme is blue and silver in here. And I like to think of the Performing Arts Hall as Owatonna's living room because the carolers, as I had mentioned, will be here. Coco with Santa on December 13th, which is a Saturday morning from 10:30 till 11. A great opportunity to whisper in Santa's ear your favorite wishes. And Mrs. Claus will be at the grand piano playing Christmas carols. So it's a really fun atmosphere. And we'll have a Christmas story read as well.
What I love is that you do get some really great Christmas ideas. Just taking a glass container and putting some bulbs in there, some Christmas, beautiful things really can just add a little pizzazz. And it's not that difficult, and it can be a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, and it's taking those ordinary things that one has and trying to use them in a new way or a different twist as well.
Let's go take a peek at the tree.
Well, good. Come on over.
The tree. Gonna come with us, Leanne?
I will.
So we are here again at the tree. This year, you were saying, was blue and silver, and there's some really beautiful decorations. Are some of these handmade then?
Well, a lot of them are handmade. In fact, this particular ornament was the new featured one that the friends and volunteers made. It's just paper, very inexpensive, cut out to give this a very interesting shape. And then some of the ornaments, like the silver stars, were ornaments that the Friends made a couple of years ago. And then obviously we've augmented it with some store-bought ornaments, being a little difficult to put back on.
Right. When you have children coming with Santa, because I would imagine this would be the perfect place to come see Santa. It's not a crowded storefront. It's beautifully decorated. It's got that elegance about it that you'd love for every child to have. But do you ever have a problem with them trying to open the presents under the tree?
You know, the kids, when they're here, they're always perfectly behaved.
Because Santa is here.
You know, they enjoy the atmosphere. And I remember years ago, a little girl came in for an event in December, and she was dressed in her finery, and she was so pleased because she said, "Oh, I don't have to go to New York." Because she thought only beautiful things and lovely things happened in New York City.
The exhibit opens this weekend. Make sure you get to see With Cocoa with Santa on the 13th. What time is that at?
At 10:30 till 11. Great opportunity to talk to Santa. Good music. Good. Cocoa and sweets.
All right, we will see you then, and we will be right back with the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Everyone deserves opportunities to have a good life, a quality education that leads to a stable job, enough income to support a family through retirement, and good health. But the reality is, many children fall behind, many families are struggling, and many others are in poor health. United Way's goal is to find long-term solutions. Thanks to a grant from the Otto Bremer Foundation, we're hosting community conversations this year to address these issues. If you'd like to join us, please call our office.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty. And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna.
And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And it's time for a look at some of your community service announcements. It's the Owatonna Hospice Star of Hope lighting that's coming up Sunday, December 7th at 5 p.m. It starts at Daybreak Church, and then they will move over to the Hospice House and light the star there. A gift of $10 or a donation of your choice will help light that star, coming up again this Sunday, December 7th. And Saturday, December 13th at 7 p.m., it's At Home with the Lowe's, an acoustic Christmas program. Tickets are $25 for adults, $15 for students 18 and under. You can get tickets at the Owatonna Community Education, Triumph Graphics, and Steele County History Center. Concert is going to benefit the Owatonna Community Education. It's a great opportunity to see a very talented family come together again for a special Christmas celebration. Riverbend Nature Center invites all ages to come and learn about the Jimmins meteor shower on December 13th from 8:30 to 10, and to take a hike to see if they can catch a glimpse of the yearly wonder. At the peak, the shower is coming on December 13th and 14th, and it is one of the most spectacular of the year. Hot beverages will be provided to warm up after their late night hike. Wear warm clothes and bring a chair or blanket if you wish. Pre-registration is required. The cost is $5 for non-members and $3 for Riverbend members. You can call 507-332-7151 for more information. And they'd like to have you join them at the Riverbend Nature Center to celebrate the shortest day and longest night of the year. Embrace the dark sky, and it's cross-country skis. Snowshoes will be available. It's from 5 to 7, and that is on December 21st. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Owatonna Today Show. We'll be back on Monday when we're talking with United Way, as well as the Owatonna Foundation Individual of the Year Giving. See you then.